Let me tell you a story, or bits of stories. I have traveled a lot before, but I have never observed my own skin color until my trip to Peru and Bolivia. These two countries have a culture and a history of their own, and they are both part of the Andes. This film is not about landscapes, not about exotic lands, not just about traveling. I am showing you the images I filmed spontaneously as a traveler. There are tons of images just like these on tons of tourist cameras. But what I'm about to say, you won't find anywhere else. Away from cosmopolitan Lima and the tourist towns of Cusco and Puno, I am often the only white person to be seen in communities where all residents have different mixes of indigenous and Spanish ancestry. However, in the streets of Peruvian cities, I see loads of ads showing skinny white girls in bathing suits and shops display white mannequins. They make me feel very uncomfortable. Someone calls me American. I feel strangely hurt. Prices announced often rise when I'm about to pay. What says? At a local festival near Andahualas, teenagers want to take pictures with us. Around Quillacollo, Bolivia, at a public pool, a young woman and her friends want a picture of us with her little brown baby. At El Alto's flea market, my friend asks an indigenous lady if he can take a picture of her. She grabs a rock and yells at him. Near Huancayo, a young student in fashion asks me which color people wear the most in Canada. There are two sets of white tourists on the bus, and we are all in the same row of seats. It happened again. In Cusco, a funeral procession at a park is firing firecrackers, and they are followed by a fanfare. A group of tourists invades the park to take pictures. Still in Cusco, I take a short walk away from the hostel and find a beautiful viewpoint. Right next to the viewpoint, two dogs and a man are looking for food in a dump. What is my place here? It's a film about what's missing, or what is invisible, what is often untold about travels, what I often cannot bring myself to talk about. Can I really talk about race, me, a white person? Am I allowed to? I was caught between highly complicated and problematic images. In one way, I was seen as a selfish American, a rich white colonizer. I was scary. I could feel it especially in the indigenous communities. But I, as a woman, was also representing an ideal, a sex symbol, something we see in movies, billboards, and magazines. Something young girls in the city want to embody. And I was sometimes seen as being racially superior. That hurts. Thankfully, I did not feel the heaviness of my own skin color all the time. Because we're all human beings, and sometimes barriers fall.
Cabra, cabra. Cabra? Cabrita. Una cabra? Chavo, chavo. Chivo. Chavo, chivo. ¿Qué hicieron? Pues era su mal. Chivo, San Vicente. Lucho, está yendo al Coliseo, pe. Hoy día va a jugar.
Nevertheless, the trip changed me. It opened my eyes and made me sensitive about how it feels to be an outsider. It gave me a little glimpse at how it feels to be the other. There are high inequalities across the Andes. Racial dynamics play a role in them. Indigenous people are located at the bottom of the hierarchy, and they suffer discrimination and violence. And they also fight back. All this is happening while I know that privileged tourists take tours to experience exotic indigenous ceremonies. And I see myself taking pictures and videos, capturing life around me, and feeling a little guilty for it. Now I want you to think about where you are in the world. Think about the inequalities in your own country. Think about a time when you did not speak out against racism. Think about a time when you said or did something questionable. How am I consciously or unconsciously involved in these dynamics? And how can I work for changing them? What is my place here?